Hey everybody, Crazen here. Thanks again for tuning into the channel. Sorry it's been such a long time since I uploaded my last one. Uh, been busy with the holidays, like I'm sure many people have been, as well as really soaking in and enjoying my classic fresh experience. I didn't spend a lot of time recording because I uh, really did not want to get my experience bogged down with trying to make a lot of videos. I really wanted to experience Classic Fresh for what it was and really focus on that since I hadn't got to experience it in 2019. And I'll probably make a separate video to talk about elements that I really liked about it. But today, what I really wanted to talk about is some gear progression and things that I am looking forward to in the upcoming phases and what I've done to prepare for it for right now. So, I'm sure many of you who enjoy playing Rogue have already felt some of the challenges that that come with playing a Rogue at end game in Classic WoW. Um, there are obviously a lot of us out there. Rogue is a pretty fun archetype to play, and it has its own unique gameplay advantages and disadvantages, but it appeals to a lot of people, myself included. Um, Outside of a fantasy aspect, rogues also are very good, especially in the earlier phases. They scale quite well, and WoW Classic has always been more of a melee game than a caster game when it comes to the damage meters, but for a lot of people, that's not what's important about the game, which is something that I've really tried to embrace when it comes to this time around. On Classic Era, I really tried to experience all of it. I did all of the raiding. I progressed all the way through KT and Naxxramas, and it was a great experience trying to really push the limits on how much damage a rogue can do. But this time around, I'm looking to do a little bit of alternative gearing, things that I did do on Classic Era that I think is where I'm going to cap out at. Um, and part of that I've already started preparing for. As you can see, I'm running around in a full set of Shadowcraft gear, or at least as far as you can tell, and that is an important thing that I purposely wanted to try and get done during Phase 0 while everybody was running lots and lots of dungeons. And I was fortunate to be pretty lucky with a lot of the drops. But one of the very good PvE routes of gearing as a rogue is to obtain the Dark Mantle set, which is not going to come out um, until Phase 5 with all of the Encourage content. So it'll be some time, but at least I won't have to try and find groups to gather up all 8 pieces of the Shadowcraft set before I can finish that quest chain. The other thing that I've been preparing for more recently is to rank. Now, I ranked all the way through rank 14 on on Classic Era after the new PvP system launched, and it was a lot of fun. It had its ups and downs. There are certainly some grind aspects of it that I don't enjoy very much, but I think that PvP has always been a high point for me when it comes to WoW, and I'm really looking forward to when the PvP system launches, because I think that a lot of people are going to be pursuing gear and ranking within that system. So I think that'll be a pretty cool experience to be a part of. It There were certainly lots of people who progressed through the ranking system after the change on Era, and when Season of Discovery launched, it became extremely difficult to rank past a certain point because there just was not enough people participating in the PvP system. So while I have a lot of nice things for PvP over on Era, I unfortunately don't get as much PvP opportunity as I would like just because there's limited availability. Um, I checked it out 2, 3 days ago just to see because I was getting kind of an itch to play with my fully geared uh, Rogue on Classic Era, and there were no BGQs for anything. There was no Warsong Gulch games, there was no Arathi Basin games, there was no Alterac Valley games. If you wanted to PvP, you could world PvP. And so I went to Winter Springs and ran around for a while and didn't find anybody. And then I went to Blackrock Mountain, and after a half hour, didn't find anybody. And it was really kind of disheartening to see that even World PvP is hurting on Classic Era. Um, so fortunately, as a rogue, you know, nowhere is safe on a PvP server, and I just took myself to Orgrimmar to have some of my own PvP fun, because the most horde in the game are in Orgrimmar, so plenty of game there. But for this time around, I'm looking forward to be able to enjoy some of the battlegrounds and just kind of take my time with it. So here, coming up on the 9th, the drums of war will beat again when World PvP reaches critical mass, and hopefully can reach that first honor goal in that first week. I suspect Terran Mill versus South Shore will be a bloodbath. I'm sure Stranglethorn Vale will be a complete nuisance to try and traverse. And really, from what I've heard about from the 2019 iteration of when PvP launched, there's not going to be very many safe places out there, at least for that 1 week before the Battlegrounds launch. Um, I have seen my fair share of PvP out there already. I am currently leveling a Warlock just kind of on the side, and I am routinely coming across some level 60s who very much enjoy camping lower level zones, which has a lot of frustration to leveling. But I think it's really just an early taste of what's going to happen from January 9th to the 16th. So it's been kind of a warm up for me. I've been doing a lot more PvP this last week and making sure all my engineering stuff is up to snuff. I could certainly have more supplies and I could have more gear, but there's more time investment that comes with all that. But that's part of the fun, right? Classic PvP has a lot of preparation elements to it, and sometimes the more you prepare, the better your outcomes are going to be. So engineering has been a big priority. Getting my epic mount has been a big priority. And fortunately, I've been able to obtain all of that within the first phase. I think it was like 3-4 days after hitting 60 that I got my epic mount. I've got enough gear that I think I could probably hold up against most people, even the ones with Molten Core gear already. So I'm really looking forward to it. First set of gearing for my alternative route is going to be through PvP, now that I have my full Shadowcraft set up and running. In my previous video, I was leveling as Coldblood Hemo, and I had been playing that for quite some time, but I ended up changing because I was running into issues with what gear I had as an availability. I was running, let's see here, I was running Thrashblade and Mira Song and a full set of Shadowcraft, but you know, as amazing as this set is, it only leaves you with, you know, no percent hit. And in the Coldblood Hemo talent build, you have no hit from talents either. So that means that using Rune of the Guard Captain left me with 1% hit, and in PvP, to make sure you don't miss attacks against level 60 players, you need to have at least 5%. So unless I farmed out more gear that had more hit, I was going to be missing attacks, and I was already starting to feel it in the world PvP I was doing, which was super frustrating. I was even missing blinds. I didn't even know that that was possible, but here we are. So I have switched gears. I'm going into my preferred PvP dagger spec, which I think is a little bit better for Battlegrounds anyways. It bumps me up to my 5% hit rating because I have 2% from here, 2% from my Mask of the Unforgiven, and 1% from Rune of the Guard Captain. So not missing anymore and doing some nice coordinated burst damage. So hopefully once PvP launches on the 9th, I'm able to grab some good clips, share it with you guys, and kind of break down how I like to use this spec. It does not have the same stun lock capabilities as the more traditional subtlety build, but it is still a lot of fun, and it has its own utilities that the traditional sub build does not have. So starting the 9th, you can rank up to rank 11, which means you can get the blue set. The blue set is pretty good for rogues, so that'll be my next set of gear progression. Getting the champions, Champions Guard. Lots of attack power, lots of crit, and will help some with my hit problems. I'm not convinced that I'll switch back to sub with all this hit gear. I'll probably still say daggers, and that's because I can get a better set of daggers from Alterac Valley. I'll already be playing daggers. I'll already be playing Alterac Valley to rank, so might as well stay daggers. I think that it'll do me better in the long run. It's what I ranked as on Era the entire time, and I had a great time doing it. So anyways, guys, that's really all I wanted to share today. Kind of an update, things I had been doing, and things I'm looking forward to here soon. I think I'm going to make a video just kind of talking about some of the things I liked about leveling in the classic fresh environment. Some of it was, you know, the availability of groups and people playing the lower level content, but a lot of it was the atmosphere. I have not played until this character, a Horde character, 1 to 60 on a classic realm. I had only done it as Alliance, and so this was like a completely different experience. I really did not have the attention span to play a character to max level until Wrath in its original iteration, and even then it wasn't until Cataclysm that I really started picking up. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of the elements that I really liked about playing Horde. I really am happy with my choice to pick Horde at the start. It had a lot of quality of life things that I felt like were missing on the Alliance side, and it also had a lot of thematic things that I really enjoyed more, but I'll dig more into that in a future video. Until then, thanks again for checking out the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.